Hello everybody, Dave here for another Dave Gets Wood. And my dad and his friend are in the workshop today, so you may hear a bit of noise and I might be a little quiet. And I've just got a text message on. I bought my mum and dad about a 6 foot tall lamp. They got two anyway, but I know my mum was looking for more earlier this year. Well, one happened to pop up on my Facebook feed. So I was like, oh, I'll go and get that. And I've gone and just put it in the living room. And my mum wasn't there when I went in. So I've just put it in the living room, pretty much in the middle of the room. And she's texted me saying that she's back. So I replied saying, okay, there's a gift for you in the living room. And she just replied, there's no gift in the living room. So we'll see how long it takes for her to spot the 6 foot tall lamp. Anyway, right, yes. A few things I learnt from last week with the attempted polishing of the wood. I got a bit frustrated with that, to be honest. But over this week I've been doing a bit more research and one thing became apparently clear. I should have put some fucking polish on it, pretty much. So that's what I'm going to be trying today on the other half. I did mention that I might try buffing up the other half last week. I didn't. I thought, no, I'll leave it because then I've still got my test piece of wood. So I've gone and got myself some of this Colron wax polish. It says cleans, nourishes and protects. It's lightly fragranced and restores dull wood. Now, I don't really need me dull wood restoring, but a polish should be able to be polished. Let's see, leaves a deep protective shine. It is easy to use and ideal for use on all types of wood and furniture. Shake bottle thoroughly, squeeze a small amount of the cream onto a soft dry cloth and apply. Allow to dry for about 10 minutes. Buff to a rich shine using a clean, dry, soft cloth. Well, that's where my orbital sander will come in very handy. So yeah, I've got some of this stuff. That's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be trying to polish that up. Now, in doing my research, there's a few things that I've learned. So for example, with my table, I was just going to use, oh yeah, the other thing I learned as well was the varnishes that I've used. I don't know why it hadn't occurred to me. Well, it did, but I started using a varnish that was here and was available. I used it on the drawer, on the shelves, I used it on the little table, and so I continued to use it. In hindsight, what I should have done is research the different types of varnish, because the varnish that I was using was a satin. If you remember, I bought the wrong tin once, and I think that may have actually been a gloss, and it's gloss that I would have been better off with on this unit, because gloss gives more of a shine than satin. But I'm not too worried anyway. But for the tables, for my table, I've got this stuff which I might use, which is a gloss dark oak. Basically same type of stuff as what I've been using, but it's a gloss and it's dark oak. Now, I might use this on my table. Now, the reason I say might is because on doing my research, one thing I've seen is that a lot of people, a lot of professionals, tend to like using wax. And this is a refined finishing wax, and it's clear. You can get coloured ones, but I got a clear one. And interestingly, something that I'm going to try with this, we see, I'm not sure. Let's see, can this be used on top of other surfaces? Can be applied directly over previously waxed or polished surfaces, but for best results, old finishes should be removed. Wax, polish or lacquer should be removed using a certain paint remover. So this may be able to be used on the unit as well, but I'll be able to try that on the first half of test wood that I'd got. Now what I did find out is that, because I did wonder about putting a coat or two of clear gloss on the unit, but I found out you can't put gloss on top of satin. So I'm not going to go down that route, but we'll see how this goes. Now for my table and my mum and dad's kitchen table, because that's what I'm going to use that wax for as well, the kitchen table, I've got this stuff as well, furniture stripper. Sound like I'm having a party. And I've got a wax stripper, and that's to take the previous finishes off those tables. Could just sand it. Looks like my dad's coming past. Hang on a minute. You alright? Said, you alright?
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah, so you use this stuff to take the previous coats off, or the previous finishes off properly, but that's difficult. I need to get some gloves, some fine wire wool. I need to get some extra bits before I can do that. Anyway, today, like I said, I want to test this polish, which I'm going to record as well, and then hopefully, depending on how well this goes, I will be back to finishing off the last couple of coats of clear coat on the drawers. Anyway, I'll see you in a moment. Right then. Now, annoyingly, this is of the stuff I got last week. This is the one for applying the polish. This doesn't attach to my orbital sander, so I may have to look at getting some proper orbital sander pads. But I'm going to use this to apply the polish anyway, but I need to shake it up. Feel free to sing the song while you're waiting. Oh, and I ended up texting my mum saying, maybe you need to turn the light on. Then she replied, oh, I'm blind as a bat. Yeah, well, it was right in the middle of the room, mother. Anyway, I might really hope this is going to work. Good form. Get down. Oh God. Shake bottle thoroughly. Oh, fucking hell. Right, I'm shaking it a lot. My arm's killing me now. Right, let's see if this is going to work. So, I tried putting a little bit and I ended up putting a lot. And as you may notice, I've masking taped off my piece of wood so I can get a clear look at how it's going. I wonder if I'd be able to, even though it won't attach properly, I'm going to try something here. See, even though it's not attached, I can just use the pressure. Now, it is important when using an orbital sander, do not stay in one place at the same time or for too long, because it will burn through what you're doing. Now, it's quite possible that I have applied way too much polish here. If I allow the orbital sander to put too much weight down, it is pressing more polish out. I really do hope that this is going to work and really bring it up to a nice, beautiful shine. Because if it does, then I can use it on the worktop. I'm just going to turn the speed up a little bit. I'm getting a few sort of ring marks. Interestingly, if I'm going straight up and down like that, I'm getting the ring marks, but when I was doing it like that, not so much. Okay. Well, that's applied. Okay, now this white one is to buff and remove polish residue. So I'm going to use the white one, and then I'm going to leave it for about 10 minutes, and then I'll buff it with the blue one. I'm definitely going to have to get myself some proper orbital sander pads, I reckon. Now, I know on the video last week you could hardly see any colour change or shine change in the wood. It will be interesting to see if it's going to be if it's different this week. Now, one thing I haven't done yet is I haven't tried touching this. Getting a bit of a demo. You know what, I think I'm quite happy with that. I'd say residue has been taken off. Oh, that feels nice. Oh my goodness me. That is so smooth. Like a fucking... That was weird, right? I have hypersensitivity anyway, so I'm very sensitive to touch and temperature change and stuff like that. So when I go from touching a rough bit of wood to a smooth bit of wood, I can notice it big time. And as soon as I touched this, it made my whole arm tingle, because I've not felt... He's done it again. I've not felt anything like that. Oh, that feels so nice. think this is going to work. Right, I'm going to stop the recording for a while. I'm going to let that dry for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to see if I can really buff it up to a beautiful shine. Right, it's been about 10 minutes and I can't wait to try this, so let's go for it. See how we're going to get on. So that's what we got at the moment. I mean, to be fair, it looks nice, feels lovely, but let's see what it's going to do with that final buff. No, I'm not talking much here, but it's because I'm kind of interested in just looking. Is it getting shinier? It's hard for me to tell. We'll turn the speed up a little bit. So I'm going to turn it down in case it burns through. Oh, that's how it feels, bloody lovely. Oh my goodness me. The difference in size is massive. I'm going to keep buffing it a little bit because I can't tell if there's much of a shine change or a colour change. So I'm just going to keep going. What I can tell you is, what I can see is the colour of the pad in the reflection. a lot happier than I was last week. Now, admittedly, I don't know whether going faster is better, moving faster is better, or slower. And how much pressure would need to be applied, if any. But to be fair, it does slide across it very easily. Now, I suppose you put too much pressure on, it could go through the polish. Now, if you're actually finding this interesting, you boring fucker. But to be fair, I'm finding it interesting. I mean, I really don't know if you can see any kind of difference or whether it's just going to be in feel. The interesting thing will be in comparison to the other half, because after touch the other half, the feel. Now, the other half last week felt so much smoother than this half, whereas now completely the opposite. Okay, I'm going to stop there. One thing I don't want to do either, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week, one thing I don't want to do is to get too much temperature. Now, it doesn't feel warm, but I did just notice a bit of a colour change there, so I'm wondering if I've just gone through. I've gone too hard there. I'll be annoyed if I have, but that's why I'm doing this test piece. Right. Moment of truth. You know, it does look a bit shinier. Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. Now, if you're struggling to see it, it's not big difference. But yeah, like, okay, the lighting doesn't help, but this end is definitely got a clear shine on it. Right, I'm happy with this. I'm going to stop the recording for a moment because I just want to, yeah, I mean, look at the reflection of the light. It's a little duller on that end compared to that end. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Right then, start getting a bit cold. I'm very happy with that test piece of wood. I'm going to leave that polish now for a few days at least to see how it behaves. If it's fine, then I know I can use it on the unit and the drawers. And I mean, some of you may wonder why I've bothered doing that and not finish the drawers first. Well, I wanted to know before I finished the drawers, because what I didn't want to do was have basically everything finished and then go, oh, do it, and then have to learn about everything. So at least this way I've now got that knowledge, and I can make another go on the drawers. I must admit, I've kind of got a bit of a bug. I really want to polish some up, but I'm not going to rush that. because rushing it is where you fuck it up. Okay, what I'm going to try and do now, as long as I don't get too cold, is apply at least one coat, a clear coat, to the drawers. Now I'm not going to record me doing that because it's a long, boring process, but I'm hoping the next coat, clear coat on them, is really going to make them pop, because they're looking good, they're just looking a little dull at the moment. They haven't quite got their shine yet, but I think it's going to take another 2 coats to get that. But I'm very impressed with. I wasn't sure if that polish was going to work. I'm very happy that it did, but the thing is, I'm limited to what else I can do regarding the polishing stuff, because as useful as these are, I think I can get better quality. And annoyingly, the faux lamb's wool I can't use on the orbital sander, so I mean, they're not made for an orbital sander, so I think I'm going to have to find myself some specific ones, which hopefully will be a lot better, which could really help. Okay, I think the only thing for me to do now is to tidy up the mess I've made and crack on with the drawers. So I'll give you an update in a bit. Alright folks, I am just about done for today. I've put one extra coat, or say I've put one coat of clear varnish on these today, and as you can tell from here, the reflection is now starting to come. Excuse me. They definitely need, I mean, I can even get, I mean that, yeah, the reflection is coming up nice. Yeah, so that's me done for today. It's getting really cold here now. Also, I'm going to be up here for a few days anyway, in a few days time. So I'm going to be able to come back and sorry, I was hearing things, but I'll explain that in a minute. Yeah, I'll be able to come back, give these a light sanding, of which I did get myself some new wet and dry fine and super fine sanding pads. So yeah, these will need a fine sanding, cleaning off, and then hopefully just one more coat, a clear coat, and then that'll be the drawers done. I'm going to be heading over to my mum and dad's house in a second. Also, I think I'm getting to the point where I might need another toolbox. Now, the toolboxes I've got, they can stack onto each other. Very useful. But I'm thinking I might need another one to put the polishing stuff in, because my current toolboxes are full to the brim. But I can't really go buying toolboxes at the moment. What was I saying? So yeah, so hopefully once these have had their next coat, hopefully all they'll then need is a polish. Now I'm hoping that the polish I've got, I could be able to polish the whole of the unit using my orbital sander, and using the orbital sander for majority of the drawers, or at least majority of the face of the drawers. So there's a possibility that I'm going to get into a polishing phase, but as you may have seen from the video from today, it didn't take very long for it to actually polish up quite nice. So I mean, that's not to say that it won't take very long, but in the previous video, obviously, after half an hour, I wasn't really noticing much difference. Today, within 5 minutes, could easily tell the difference just from a touch. And under a better light as well, I was able to see there is a slight, not a slight, but there is a different shininess to each end, but also the side I've polished is lighter because it's reflecting the light, whereas the side I haven't polished, not so much. Yeah, so we're getting close. Also, I have been looking again for drawer handles, and I have finally managed to find one guy who seems to do nothing but sell brass handles. And he's got like 2,500 products he's selling at the moment, all old stuff. And I did have a look through them the other day, but I got part way through, and then instead of looking for full replacements, I thought, you know what, if there's anywhere I've seen at the moment that might have a chance of actually having the same handles that I've got, it'd be there. So I basically went through his products looking for the specific same handles. So I'm gonna have to go back and have a look, or maybe I might even just message the guy and let him know exactly what I'm after. But either way, bit of progress in that respect. The piece of wood still hasn't had its material on, but I'm going to be going over to the house in a moment, and I'm kind of hoping to sort that out when I'm over there, or at least get the initial size of the material cut out. Right, I mentioned about I was hearing something. If you've watched a few of my videos, you'll know that recently I happened to look up at the roof and say, I'm sure I heard something crawling about. Well, today, I sat here doing me touching up of varnishing and stuff, and all of a sudden, a bird flew past my head. I'm like, what the fuck? Now, the doors were closed, the windows were closed. There was a bird, and it was flying about quite happily, walking between the two buildings. Only a little bird, looked like it could be a robin, but it didn't have a robin chest. But I think it might be what's the word? I was gonna say a chickling, but that's baby chickens. A youngling. I think it's a young bird, which made me think, I wonder if there's a nest in here somewhere, which, to be fair, given the weather lately, having a nest in here wouldn't be a bad idea, because it's windy outside, it's fucking wet. The town I live in flooded. Thankfully not anywhere near me myself, but oh, and there you go. An example of what the world has become, right? A few days ago, I happened to have an interesting thought in my head. For, you know what, I'm going to pop that, I'm going to post that on Facebook. So I wrote, there's only one good thing that comes out of all of this flooding. All of those bullseye winners from the Midlands that won a speedboat can now get to use it. Probably got 2 or 3 likes. Yesterday, all of a sudden I start seeing people liking and sharing a picture of a random boat in water with a bully, saying exactly the same as what I'd said, but because it's a picture, it was getting liked and shared by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And we're a visual species now, as in we'll look at a picture rather than read a sentence. Or, should I say, we'll read a sentence that's written on a picture, even if the same sentence can be read when it's not on a picture. We're drawn to the picture. So women, if you want to get your man to do anything, write it to him on a fucking picture. Although if you if the picture's of a naked woman, he ain't gonna be looking at the writing. Right, anyway, I need to fuck off. It's getting cold. It's already dark. And yeah. It's weird, I kind of feel like I haven't done much today. But then with the way I've been sleeping recently, I am so tired. I mean, I woke up at 1 o'clock last night. I think I went. Did I go to bed early? No, I went for a nap. Yesterday I went for a nap. I thought, right, set my alarm, I have a 20-minute nap. I woke up like 5-6 hours later at 1 o'clock in the morning and was wide awake. So I ended up, which I didn't want to be because of coming here today. So I ended up getting up and got to a point about sort of 8 o'clock where I was like, should I head over now or what? And I went to go to the loo and I sat down and I yawned. I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to get myself a couple of hours sleep. And I'm glad that I did because I felt a hell of a lot better for it once I'd woken up. But it meant that I got here at normalish sort of time, but I am tired now. My eyes are tired. And although I had food like about 4 o'clock this morning, I've not had a proper meal since. Anyway, right, I need to go, so I'm going to go. Progress has been made, polishing progress has been made. It'd be very interesting to see what difference that could make. I'm just having a look now as to whether I cover these. No, I'm going to leave them for the moment. Right, have a good one everybody, and I'll see you all again soon.